So this is the sort of games I'm talking about. Let's get it here so it doesn't blot it out. Etrian Odyssey. That's the name of the series. So this game, it's very big tadpole. Anyways, the series is very, how do I even say it? It's very much you either love it or you hate it. There we are. That's a theme. There we go. Alright, but yeah, it's very much you love it or you hate it. One of the big themes is it's one of those long-lasting JRPGs that, very much it asks you, it doesn't just give you a map of the area, or doesn't just have you wander. It has a very complex map, and says, alright, now map it for yourself. It's, all of the series is on the 3DS. Man, I'd be so happy to hear if they had one on the Switch, but I don't think that's the case. I would say just, if you ever do get into it, don't start with 1, start with Untold, because this is a remake of 1 with an additional story and better graphics and all that stuff. If you have the opportunity to. They're all on the 3D, all the newest ones are on the 3DS, so not everyone has those, as I've been told. But yeah, if the idea of like being a navigator for like, I guess that's a good way to describe it. You are a navigator for an RPG, for an adventuring party. That's the job of Etrian Odyssey. If that sounds great to you, amazing game. You'll love it. If that doesn't sound your style, it's not your style, don't even touch it, because it's very much, that's what you are. You are a navigator for a party, for an adventuring party for JRPGs. And my god, it's hard. You need to know what you're getting into. You will navigate into a boss, and like, oh yeah, this is a boss for my level. Oh god. Oh god. Like, I think in this one, the first boss, they specifically give you an item basically saying, hey, this item, make sure to use it wisely. And then you get to the boss, like they'll give you 5 of the same item. And you get into the boss, and you need to use all 5 at specific points in the fight. It's not like, oh, here's the part where you use the item. It's like, no. This is the difference between living or dying, but you just have to look at the map, like, while you're fighting, the map keeps moving, and, like, what happens is you're getting surrounded, and you have to use they're like flares that you use to blind the enemies that are surrounding you, and if you don't use them properly, they'll enter the fight, and you'll just suddenly be fighting 4 different, like, the first boss has, like, a bunch of minions, and they'll keep piling up into just too many minions for you to handle. And that happened the first time, I just got wrecked. But it's so cool that they have mechanics like that. As I said, you're an adventuring party, and you really have to use your resources. It's not just pick the best team, grind ho. And also the best team is sometimes hard to define, because if just the base fighter, cleric, wizard, rogue, like, so there's 5 party members. That sounds way more intense than my impression of Etrian Odyssey. You have a non-intense impression of Etrian Odyssey? My first impression was, alright, our first mission is to, so I'm just gonna tell you my first impression of Etrian Odyssey was the first quest is map out the ground floor, the first floor of the first dungeon. I'm like, oh, okay, just a great way to introduce the mechanics. I had to go back to town like 4 times because my characters kept dying. Etrian Odyssey is a tough game. If you're not prepared for a tough game, Etrian Odyssey will kick your rear in. It is a tough game. It's a very fun. You are, as I said, if you're a navigator for an adventuring party, fantastic game. Fantastic game, but you gotta be ready for it. You got to be ready for it. You got to be ready for it. I played something similar on Vita, but I don't remember the name. It's bugging the hell out of me. Alright. Anyways, I'm gonna go put this. I do remember getting my butt handed to me. That sounds about right. Oh, duh! If you have a 3DS, there is a, what's it called? A demo. I think for both number 4 and number 5 in the series. And it's just on the eShop on the 3DS. So, I'm not sure if you could, I think you can still access it. It's the Wii that got shut down, not the 3DS. So if you can access that, you can play the demo. And from the demo, you'll be like, okay, you'll either be like, oh my gosh, I want to keep playing, or that was enough for me. That was enough for me. One or the other. It's gonna do that right there. As for the game review, yeah, dude. The problem with the game is it's the problem with all my JRPGs. They last too long. That's it. I want the game to end at some point, and JRPGs are like, well, once we're done, we're done. So we need to give you everything. Just jam it all in. I'm not always ready for that. But yeah, no. It's like it's a game I'm happy purchasing and playing through Etrian Odyssey, not because I'm going to beat it, but because until I get to the point where I'm done playing, I'm going to love it. And then I'm going to get to about the halfway mark, I'm done playing.